You might say to yourself, this looks very familiar. Well, that's because after I finished it, you'll see the first go around, I had a friend who wanted to buy it, but she wanted it black. So this is how it first came from the Restore. It was listed at $150. However, they couldn't sell it, and I think it's because it was an ugly fake wood spray as the finish, which you can see right here. So they said if you give a $15, $15 donation, then you could have it. So my husband and I brought it back, and I hope to make a little curio cabinet with the top parts, but I still have to find a piece of wood because this was the base and that was the wood for the curio cabinet. Anyway, so I didn't like how this did not have legs, so I took off about 2 inches and put on new legs. At the very end of the video, you will see a picture of what the legs kind of looked like. And it is actually really easy to add legs. I'm very happy about that. So here I am taking off the extra wood, and here you can see how nicely the wood peels off. Now, because it was on its side, I did the top, I did the front, but I waited for about a day to do the other side. And because this tape is not made for painting, it was for rough surfaces, it sadly took off some of the wood. I know, I tried to fill it like 3 times and it just doesn't look perfect, but it looks fine. So I took all of the doors off and I sanded everything down and I cleaned it. I did have some problems with these screws. So one of them got stuck. And so there are some methods for removing screws that get stuck. And removing screws in wood is pretty easy. But you can go online, find those videos. And my dad actually helped my husband do it when I was out of town. So I did not do it, but I have done it in the past. So here you can see where they had the spray painted fake wood, and because I think this was from the 70s or 80s, I don't think it's ever been cleaned. I cleaned it off with Simple Green, and I first of all clean it with the spray bottle, and then I go back around and I rinse it off with, you'll see, a pink cloth. And yeah, I think this is actually a really cute piece of furniture. The velvet here was a little dirty, so I cleaned that off as well. And I also think that the front where I'm cleaning right now is also a spray painted faux wood finish. So never imagine that wood that looks like wood is really wood. Like there's laminate, and that is not laminate. There's veneer, and that is wood. But sometimes they just spray on images of wood. It's really weird. Anyway. So here I am cleaning it up. And so when I first finished it, it was a greenish color, green-gray, and that was the same as my stepdaughter's hutch. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I was shocked. 6 people wanted to buy it. And it was around Christmas time, which makes sense. But the very first person who replied was my friend, and she was going to be over at my house for a wine tasting. So she said, I'll take it, but would you paint it a different color if I paid you? And oh my goodness, she totally paid me a generous amount. However, it did take a long time. So black is kind of a hard color, in my opinion, to paint with to make it look good. And so what I had to do is, because I put a polyurethane on the top of the gray-green color, I then had to sand that all off, because you can't really put things over oil-based as easily as water-based. So I sanded the whole piece down again with my Surf Prep sander, which does make life a lot easier. And then, I don't know why I said this, I hate latex, but I couldn't think quickly. So I told them what to buy, which was a latex paint, which actually, I know why I did that, is because my stepdaughter also had a latex, and I thought it worked pretty okay, but I don't like latex paint so much. So they dropped off the paint, so they paid it for themselves, and then I sanded it, and then I started putting it on, and I watched a video, Black Sheep, I believe is the video name, and the young lady, she puts on paints with a paintbrush, and then she uses a hard, stiff sponge roller, and oh my goodness, it looks so fantastic. So you don't have to use your spray gun. And if you've watched my videos before, my spray guns technique isn't that great. So I sanded everything down, and you can see here I'm wiping all of the dust off. And here I'm showing you that the Surf Prep sander has a squishy part, and so you can go around curves, because this had a lot of curves to it. Now here I'm adding some legs, and I want to make sure that the screws go underneath, so I put little divots in there, and I'm blowing that. Here's what it looks like. You put in the little chrome parts, and then you screw on the legs. It's really easy. So here's what it looked like. First of all, I had 6 people who wanted to buy this, and then I painted it black, and one of my subscribers said to use this milk paint, and the wax. And so I used the wax, and it looked like this. And so I tried buffing it out. And then the next day I used Howard Feed & Wax, and it looked shiny again. So I'm not really sure what I did wrong, but the wax didn't look as beautiful as this. So this is the wax, then Howard Feed & Wax over it. I then delivered it to my girlfriend's house with my husband's help. And the picture isn't so great, but you can see I did deliver it. And here's what it looked like beforehand. And then the next picture this is in her house. So I think it turned out well. Have a great day and subscribe.
Subscribe.